So why did people settle at Star Carr? Well, after the last ice age, the climate was warming up. The landscape was becoming more forested, and more animals would have started to live here. We know that by about 11,000 years ago, there was a lake, and people started to live on its shores. And a lake can be a good place to live because there's easy access to water. And there are fish in the lake and birds and other animals in the surrounding forests. And it must have been a good place to live because generations of people stayed here for about 800 years. Stone Age people are sometimes described as cavemen and cavewomen, but Star Carr gives us a very different picture, and here we can see that people lived in houses. We only find holes in the ground which show where the posts would have been, but by building an experimental house, we can show how big they would have been and what they may have looked like. We think that people probably thatched the houses in reeds from the lake. And inside the houses, people would have made and used stone tools and eaten food. These houses are really important because this is the earliest evidence of houses in Britain. People also built big wooden platforms on the edge of the lake, and these are made of great big tree trunks, as well as some which have been split using stone axes. And this is the earliest evidence of carpentry that we've got in Europe. We're not so sure why these platforms were built, but they must have made it easier for people to get in and out of the water, perhaps with boats. People at Star Carr made fire for light and warmth and to cook their food, and they made fire by striking flint against pyrite to create a spark, and then used fungi to help turn that spark into fire. Although most animals were wild, people did have dogs, which would have lived with them in the settlement. Dogs were probably used in hunting and for scaring wild animals away, but people may have cared for them as pets, as we do today. So although life was very different then, there are still things we can recognise as familiar today. Do you think you would have liked to have lived here as a Mesolithic hunter-gatherer?